If you ever hear a cry for help late at night, please ignore it. I love to camp, but after my most recent trip, I don't think it will ever be the same. I set up my tent on nice, flat ground and collected some wood for a fire. The night came with all its nightly sounds, and I relaxed at the hooting owls and chirping crickets. Even better was the fact that no one else was around. Help! It was subtle. I almost missed it. The voice came from very deep within the woods, and for a moment I didn't believe what I was hearing. It sounded female, but oddly enough, I just couldn't tell. Please help! It continued. I shined my flashlight between the bushes and walked around. To be completely honest, even as a grown man, I was paralyzed with fear. So I did the responsible thing, and I called the local police. That's when things went from odd to very, very weird. The police had told me to ignore it. I explained to them that someone could be injured and probably needed medical attention, but they assured me otherwise. When I kept pushing and asked why, they told me, "Yeah, well, sir, if you ever hear that voice again, ignore it. Do not respond and do not approach." Well, I did hear it again, but I didn't ignore it. It was almost midnight when I heard a voice a second time. I awoke to someone whispering, "Help!" And it sounded like she was right outside my tent. Went out to check, but nobody was there. But the voice continued from a distance, "Help, please!" Again, I grabbed my flashlight and looked around the area that I was camping. I was too afraid to follow the voice into the woods, especially since the authorities themselves had avoided it. But I struggled morally, trying to decide whether I should go and help this person or listen to the police who were concerned for my safety. But then I heard a different voice. This other voice, which also seemed to be coming from the woods, was an octave lower, unlike the first one, which cried for help. This one was loud and demanding. "Quiet!" the other voice demanded. "No one's going to help you." Once I heard that, I was sure someone was in trouble. I then called the police again. When I informed them about a second voice coming from the woods, they seemed even more concerned. They told me that I should pack my things and leave the campsite immediately. They said that hearing the second, more manly voice, that the thing was getting desperate. They also said that the two voices were coming from the same person. That part was bizarre and confused me. To say the least, it was at this point I dismissed the police in that area as crazy, but not before telling them off. I got angry. I told them that if they didn't get down here to come check it out, then I would do it myself. I said repeatedly that a woman could be in serious trouble and that it was their duty to help her. But they refused to come. All they kept repeating to me over the phone was, "Do not enter the woods, sir." They seemed more afraid than I was. Once I had hung up the phone, I heard the voices again, a gentle, "Please, somebody help me." And then a growling, "Quiet, no one's coming." It was a little past midnight at that point. I couldn't live with myself knowing that I had the chance to save someone's life, but instead cowered. So I grabbed some things and ventured into the woods. When I entered the woods, the voices ceased. Just like that. No cries, no whispers, and no commands. Even the owls and crickets went away. Nothing but the dancing leaves and creaking tree branches. I stopped walking, looked around a full 360 degrees. "Hello? Anyone here?" I called out. Nothing. "I'm here to help," I continued. "Where are you? Are you okay?" Still nothing. I thought of calling the police again, then chuckled to myself. I found it strange but somewhat comforting that I didn't find anyone out there. Nonetheless, I was still creeped out, so I packed my things and finally left the campsite. I still don't have no idea why the police, of all people, were so scared. Worst case, someone was in actual danger. And we've all failed them. The best case, morons who think saying, "Help me," in the middle of nowhere is a great idea for a prank. And to be honest, when I heard the voice for the very first time, I did think it was a joke. When I heard it a second time, along with that other voice, I became a bit more concerned. And the same with the third time I heard it in the woods. But when I heard it again a fourth time, a week after I left the campsite coming from the inside of my own house, that's when I became very, very concerned.